Hey guys, today we're going to be working on how to fix pool pump issues. In this case, I did a filter cleaning on my DE type style, and once I finished doing the backwashing and cleaning the medium over, so you can see it's a Hayward unit, I had some pump issues. It wasn't priming, the pump wasn't turning on. It kept on making clicking noises on and off. It wouldn't start up. So I searched around. There's no videos that actually help me out in troubleshooting and diagnosing. This system has a timer on it, as you can see. It has an outlet plug for 240 volt system. And it goes into the pump. This pump is rated to be either a 230 system or a 115, as it shows there. It's about a 1 horsepower capacity, and it's designed to circulate water into my pool. So here, I'm going to pass the camera over to my camera guy and show you what I did to figure out the problem. Alright, first things first. The main problem I was getting was I would get the pump to kick on, but it wasn't turning on all the way. It would just kind of cycle, and then it will click on and off. It would do on and off clicking noise. So I did my basic checks, made sure that I was getting enough no bubbles into my pump skimmer, that my valves weren't clogged, and that I didn't have any restrictions on my pressure side. Suction side seemed okay, nothing on my pressure side. So ruling all that stuff out, I was looking and I was seeing that my filter gauge was showing at about 0 to nothing. It wasn't even priming up at all. As you can see right now, the pump's running fine, and we're at about I'm going to say around 16 psi, which is a good filter. That's how it should be. So then I went to troubleshoot further on. A lot of videos told me to check and make sure and see maybe my pump was burning out, which I didn't think so. This pump is fairly new, it's about a year old. So, but I could definitely smell that the pump was getting too hot. It was overheating. So, first thing I went over here was to do my voltage checks before I condemn my pump. So, you're gonna aim right here with the camera. All right, so what you want to do is get a voltmeter like so. You're gonna put it in into AC voltage. I don't know if you can see that there. And then we're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna check our voltage readings on the load side over here on your timer. See how you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the lines both going in. One should be 120 and the other should be 120 on this 240 system. And the two load sides you should be getting out of the timer going in, coming right back out, you should get about 240 across the board, alright? So we're gonna check the load side, which is going to the pump. Coming out to the load side goes up to this plug, from this plug up to the pump. So on my load side, I'm going to check voltmeter. Come hold this. Thank you. So you can see right now, check on my load side. Just be very careful when you do this, guys. You want to always turn off your pump and turn it back on depending on, but we have to check this with the pump on, obviously. Check right here, you can see you got 240, which is perfect. That's what's coming out of the timer. So we can't say that this timer is okay. If I have 240 coming out, the timer's okay. So we can rule out the timer from being the issue. We're gonna go over to the plug. Out of the plug, you should have 3 prongs on this 240 system. One should be for 120 out of each leg. If you go from ground to each pin, it should be 120. And if you check across, you should have about 240 as well. So I did my checks in there. Come on this side and hold the camera like this, please. Okay. This is hot. Go around. Sorry guys, trying to get my camera guy over here situated. But stand right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my pump. I'm gonna unplug my connector here. check. Again, make sure your voltage settings is a voltage analog with a little squiggly sign on it, not the one that shows direct. Okay, so if you guys can see that there, but all right, with the switch off, you should get nothing over here. There's nothing. You should get some readings, but there should be nothing, as you can see. All right, I'm gonna keep the prongs inside there with the leads in. Switch my timer on, and make sure you're making good contact. You're not gonna get anything. So right now you're getting across, you're getting 240, which is fine. And if I go to ground, you should get 120 on one side. Flip the other lead to the other side, you should get 120. So per leg, if you're looking over here, per leg, this should be 120, this is 120, and then you have your ground. Usually represented by a little hook inside, that's your ground. So 120, 120, if you add the two of them together, you should have 240. Perfect. Now the issue, what I ended up finding on my end, was the actual lead in here. It was full of corrosion, so I cleaned it up, that fixed it. But how I diagnosed and troubleshoot it, turn off my timer, was that when I plugged it in and I turned on my pump, it would do that. If you see it, it's just clicking on and off, clicking. That's all it would do, just click on and off, on and off, on and off, like it's trying to prime. So I was able to rig it back so that it can actually give me the same issues. And I went at the pump before even checking at the plug. I went at the pump and I did take the back housing out. You have to be very careful and make sure your timer's off, and then you can check. Every meter there, you have your leads. One of them is going to go into the actual side where the voltage comes in, which you can see these two are inlets for voltage, and this is your ground, represented by that green ground sign. So if you touch them right there, you should have 0 volts when the switch is off. When I switch it back on, it should read 120 on that leg, and the same thing on this one, it should be 120. So you have 120 across both of them, that's fine. But if you go across these two and you read 240, you're good. But if you're reading 120, you got a voltage drop on your lines, or there's something going on, a connection issue around here or from there back. So like I said, on my end, I ended up finding the connection issue being over there at that prong. I actually rigged it right now, so it actually does the same symptoms, but all you'll get is pretty much this pump doing this. You'll get that doing that versus me there you go, that's me moving it around over here so I can you can see that the filter is reading 0, not reading anything, and the pump just clicks. It'll overheat the pump because you're pulling too much amperage, and you eventually blow that motor up or the timer will go on. So, like I said, you just got to be very careful. I'm going to see if I can rig that prong back over so I can get it to cycle correctly. You can even hear that the pump is also just kind of cycling through, and it's not really doing much for it. So. Alright guys, so like I said, this is my problem, this is what I found. Hopefully it helps someone out, and not replacing pumps, just checking your basic voltage checks on it, and saving some money.